very much, Arun. So what I am going to do now is share my screen. But before that, I just want to thank everybody that has joined and to appreciate the fact that I've been allowed to present in this meeting. I'm very excited about it. I am going to proceed and try and share my screen right now. Yeah, so right now we live in a remote first world. So what has happened over like the past 2 years and more is that most companies have now mostly moved because of the pandemic onto a remote first. That's for many companies around the world right now. And about 86% of developers are actually 100% working remotely. And there is a very serious need for Android developers all around the world right now. And of course, mostly in the US companies. So I work for Turing. My name is Malisa. And I just want to tell you about Turing, just a quick talk, and just show you how you can actually be able to take advantage of this and be able to work remotely for a US company. Opportunities are different from talent in the way that there would be opportunities, let's say in the US, but the talent is no longer really available so much in the localities where people are or where those companies are. So now most companies are now looking at hiring people that are outside of their geographic area. And for them to do that, they actually have to go remote. So a number of you developers, you realize that you have applied for a job at some point, maybe overseas or somewhere, but you never get any response. The reason is because there is all those administrative issues and issues that relate to how you can actually be able to work for those companies. So Turing is actually one of the companies right now that is making those things that possible. But it comes with a very interesting way of actually building your career. So I'm just going to go quickly with it, and then if you have any questions, you'll be able to ask me at the end. So every company is actually trying to race to actually get some of the best remote engineers. As you can see, LinkedIn, Siemens, all these big companies actually, as you can see from, as you know, from as a developer, that all these stories of all these companies actually hiring remotely, or rather working with their employees remotely. So all the there is a planetary pool of engineers, thousands of high quality devs, especially here in Kenya. We have so many very, very good Android developers like you that would actually be able to take advantage of some of these opportunities. And yet you will probably at some point struggling and be like, I would like to have a job of, where I can actually be able to work and do and grow my career. But it's a little bit hard. So talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not everywhere. That is the thing. So it is hard to get noticed in this planet. So there are two choices. One, you can apply directly, like what I was saying, or hunt for gigs where you go maybe on some of those freelance sites and do some short-term work. And usually it's low quality work in the fact that, you know, you're given a very short time to accomplish a task which may probably require a much longer time. There's no mentorship, there's no career growth, there's no community either, but it's a bit easier to get. Or you can actually apply directly for something long-term employment, do high quality work, and actually have community and mentorship and career growth. But these opportunities like those are very hard to get. So now there is a global opportunities, long-term jobs, mentorship and upskilling and community, lifelong matching. So one of the things that Turing is doing right now is supporting communities. It's actually one of the priorities that Turing is doing right now to ensure that we actually build communities that are going to be able to organically enable developers to grow their careers with Turing. So this is a very vibrant community. I know that Kenya has got some of the best Android developers here in Africa. So it's a very huge pleasure of mine actually to be managed to talk in this community right now, because I know we have some of the best developers here, and it's very exciting. I'm just going to go through the slide very quickly, but here is what makes Turing different. One, Turing uses AI, so uses AI to match talent with opportunity. So when I say opportunity, I mean jobs. So meaning you basically create your profile. Once you've filled in your profile, you will then, the AI algorithms are going to enable you to be actually matched with a company that will say, okay, I would like a developer with this sort of skill, let's say Kotlin, Java, something like that, right? That develops applications and has this sort of amount of experience. So that is where Turing makes things completely different, because some of these things are done, these things are done much more efficiently than, you know, having people behind the scenes that are actually doing that manually. So the AI that we've developed enables all these things to happen very quickly. People get matched, people get these jobs, and then they then grow their career. So when I say grow their career, the reason why I'm saying grow their career is that Turing does not give gigs. It actually gives proper jobs, meaning you actually have an assured salary every month, which you actually get normally just like a normal full-time job. So because it is actually a full-time job. So that is Turing. It's not like a short term where you are doing like 2 months or 1 week or 3 months or something like that, and then you don't know what to do next, or you're hunting for another gig. It doesn't work like that. We actually do long-term jobs. So this is what I'm actually explaining you. Turing, you get payments, you basically get employed by Turing. And then if, let's say, you have been matched with a certain company, let's say maybe Coinbase, and then the contract with Coinbase ends, Turing will continuously match you, meaning before you even finish the tenure with Coinbase, Turing will already have matched you with another client. Let's say maybe Pepsi or whichever company. So you work directly with these US companies, meaning you actually will do check-ins, stand-up meetings with that particular company in the US. And during that process, you'll also be able to have mentorship and upskilling, meaning your level, the level that you joined at is not the same level that you're going to be in, say, a year from now, because you'll have gained some new skills. So those skills will actually be added as well within the Turing, your Turing profile. And then of course, the last thing is community, which is actually why I'm here, is to actually engage with the community and be able to show you some of these opportunities. And not only that, but also continuous learning and continuous improvement, so that your career gets better all the time. And this is of course AI assisted, like I mentioned. So long-term job number 1, 3 to 3 years, you know, or even more. So these are some of the companies that are already using engineers from Turing. I'm sure you can notice from the logos, these are companies that you know, we all know, from you know, Microsoft, Coinbase, Pepsi, like the ones that I've just mentioned, Johnson & Johnson, and there is many. Of course, there is more than 200 companies that are right now signed up with Turing, and they basically trust our vetting process. So in most cases, they don't even have to interview you once you've gone through the Turing interview process. So of course, there's many stacks, but right now, as things stand, Android developers are the most sought after right now. There is a huge demand for Android developers, and of course, React and Node is also one of the highest as well in terms of the demand right now for US companies. So what it takes is basically you pass the vetting process, you get matched, and then you start working. So in the vetting process, you are vetted for technical skills. Basically, that means you actually do some multiple choice questions where you basically pick. It should take like a couple of minutes to do that, and then after that, you are vetted for communication. Communication is basically how is your English, and how is your how is your communication skills? How do you communicate? Are you able to communicate? Because as a global company, it means that you know, we would get some people that come from actually non-speaking English countries. But here in Kenya, we don't have that kind of issue, because you know, we basically, English is one of our main languages. So we also vet for your prior work experience. So meaning that if you would actually want to know how long you've been working as a developer, and how long, for example, have you worked as an Android developer as well. And then you also get personalized mentorship when you get matched. So meaning that before you actually get matched to a particular company, let's say Pepsi or some company like that, you will have a dedicated developer success team member that is actually going to help you to make sure that you actually succeed within your career, and make sure that if you have any issues, you can actually report them and be able to grow your career from there. So they'll ask you to confirm your availability in terms of like how long will it take for you to move from your current job, because this is a full-time job. How long will it take? Is it a month or something like that? and then you confirm your compensation. So on confirming compensation here, you are the one that determines what is your rate per hour, and that is exactly what you get. And then you start your full-time engagement. When you start working, full-time engagement is basically, you basically join the team. You're onboarded onto the team, and then you basically are paid by Turing monthly and on time. So so you basically, like what I was saying, you basically continue to grow your career. There is 24/7 support from HR and developer success teams. And how much will you make on Turing? So you get 100% of your rate. So the companies they cover the cost. So you actually just get whatever you have whatever you've agreed in terms of the rate per hour, and that's basically it. Do I need to speak English for Turing? Yes, this should not be a problem for most of us here, because we basically speak English as one of our main languages. Do I need to pay US taxes? No, you don't need to pay US taxes. So what happens is that when Turing pays you, there is a system that is used there which allows you to be able to register your normal PIN number here, and then you'll be able to pay your taxes locally. So this should not be a problem, and your money is sent directly to your bank account, or you can actually choose to have it sent to many other channels like Payoneer or PayPal or M-Pesa, whichever channel that you wish to use. How do I prepare for taking a Turing test? So most developers that succeed, they basically prepare for like maybe 1 or 2 weeks, depending on what you've been doing. You need some fundamental computer science skills. So basically things like algorithms, data structures. You need to revise your basically your stack that you use, in this case Android. So you'll actually be asked Android related questions which relate to the domain specific things that you would actually do almost every day in your Android development. But of course you would need to practice on lead code or HackerRank, so that you can be able to get that hang of it and be able to solve those problems quickly. The problems are not really hard at all, if you ask me, but they are meant to test you on a number of different. They're not meant for you to fail, no, or to push you away. They're meant to actually assess what are your strengths, and to be able to know which areas you can actually be able to grow. And what if I fail the test on Turing? So so if you fail the test, you can actually try it again in 3 months. And there's a number of people that have actually joined Turing, but initially they had actually failed. They start, let's say, for some reason, a person may start the test and they're nervous. It's normal. We've all gone through that, where, just because you're nervous, you are not able to perform very well, just because of just only that reason. So you get another chance, and then you'll be able to even also do other tests as you want. But you can try again after 3 months. So Turing is actually founded by some of the top engineers in the world. It's actually, as you can see, the CEO is Jonathan, and there's quite a number of people, and all these people, if you can see, they've actually come from very large companies, from Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Quora, and all that. So they are there to it's basically a good team of people that really know what they're doing. So investors, the investors at Turing are, of course, these companies that you see here, and of course more than what we've just added here. Yeah, so we like to view Turing as a talent cloud. So view it as an AWS of talent, where a company like, say, Coinbase would actually, when they want to get talent, they actually then come to Turing and then get talent from there, and then and that talent is you, and they will actually then grow. They will actually then work with us, with you, in a way that would develop your career much further. So the world is flat now. Excuse me, meaning we in the previous times it was hard, or it was kind of unheard of that a person who is living in Kenya or living in Uganda or anywhere in the region or anywhere in Africa would actually be able to work for a US company, because you'd actually have to travel there. But now things are different. You're able to do your commits, your you know, on GitHub, make your PRs, and you know, use Zoom with the team and work with people from all around the world. And that also gives you an opportunity to meet some also the smartest people who are just like you. All right, so so what we'll do is what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to so this is the process: pre-screening, which is 15 minutes, non-technical interview, and then sorry, coding challenge, which is like 20 minutes. No, sorry, this is something different. This is something different. Okay, let me just share a link. I think this is where I'm going to end, and I am going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to share a link that I will ask you to fill in, and once you fill in this form, which I've added on chat, we will be able to contact you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask right now, or you can actually go to send an email to support@turing.com. So that's a good question. How about claims that Turing takes 50% of developer salary? So that is misinformation. That is actually not true. That is very malicious. I've actually seen that post on Quora, and it is actually not true. Turing does not take any of your money at all, and it is one of those malicious posts that obviously are not based on any truth. Turing, like I mentioned before, whatever you negotiate with, you basically mention the rate that you want. Meaning, if you want, let's say, you know, say a certain amount per hour, that is exactly what you get, and you get that as your salary at the end of the month. Okay, the next question is, if you're an intermediate Android developer, can one apply? So normally most of the clients that we have would want a person who has got at least more than 2 or 3 years experience, depending on your skill. there is exceptions, meaning you may be, you may have, let's say, 2 years experience, right? But you are exceptional in your skill. So those kind of situations exist where you are actually matched just because of your exceptional skills. So, for example, there is a candidate that was matched with a client. I think he had only 2 years experience, but he had done, I think, like a number of libraries that are actually used in by the community. I don't know how many. I think maybe more than 10 libraries that are actually used by the community. So those are some of the exceptions. But I'm not saying you need to have written so many libraries, but I mean there is certain exceptions. So Turing is not trying to push you away, but is going to try and basically pull you in continuously. Excuse me. Pull you in continuously. Basically, grow your career. Once you get the number of years of experience, and you are able to be, you are sort of like matchable, meaning that there is actually companies that are interested in your skill at that time, then you basically get matched. Sorry. So there's another question from Sasha. One last question: what is the minimum contract time? So Turing gives long-term contracts, meaning you, depending on the company, most the companies, the clients themselves are vetted, just like the candidates. So if the client is not able to give a good amount of time, meaning like let's say roughly a year of contract, then Turing will not bring them into our platform, meaning they would actually not be our clients. So that's the idea is of long-term careers, because we don't want people to be struggling, trying to look for jobs continuously and changing between jobs every 3 months. It's not like it's not right to do that. Yeah. So it's basically long-term careers. That's why I mentioned careers, because it's not a gig. It's not like freelancing. There's another question: do we have to pay Turing to apply for a specific role? No, you don't have to pay Turing anything. You just as long as you are Turing, you basically Turing will match you. So meaning you are not the one that is going to literally look for the job. Turing will look for a job for you, and then it's up to you to accept and say, this one I want, this one I want, this one I don't want. So it's up to you to say, this is the specific job that you want, depending on what makes you comfortable. So thank you very much. I know there's so much talent here. I've actually seen quite a lot of talent here in Nairobi and here in Kenya in terms of Android developers and basically software developers. So I'm quite sure that some of you who are looking for opportunities, you'd actually take advantage of this, and we can work together.